You're listening to the Throttle to the Floor podcast. Hey y'all, welcome to today's episode of the Throttle to the Floor podcast. I'm your host, Will Earnest, here today with my guest, Noah Altman.
What up?
I got lots of other things to get to, so we'll get right into it. Up first, Dale Earnhardt Jr. He's back racing in his late model in the Cars Tour. This time, he's in the Bass Pro late model at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway on April 11th. So looking forward to seeing what he can do. And, of course, my wallet is like, go. Yeah, so, also, Cleves McFarland, he tested at Rockingham again, but this time he tested in a O'Reilly Series car, and he's now confirmed to run at least 3 races per year on a 2-year deal, although that could expand to more races, but it'll be with RCR in the 33 O'Reilly's car with Tommy Express Car Wash as sponsor. His O'Reilly Series debut will be Rockingham on Easter weekend. And then if he gets approved, he'll race at Talladega later in April. And he's already running the ARCA race at Talladega in late April as well. So he's a busy man. Lots of people are split on him running in an O'Reilly's car, being with... I mean, he's ran good in ARCA, and his one truck start, he qualified decent. It's just he got wrecked after 6 laps. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I think he'll do fine. I mean, if he actually wants to take NASCAR seriously and, do what the Biff told him to do, and, what his goal was to get into the Daytona 500. If he wants to do that, then, I mean, he's making the moves he needs to get there and to grow and to learn. So
Yeah.
Some other news specifically for IndyCar. Up first, IndyCar is rumored to release the layout for its inaugural street race in Washington, D.C. on Monday, as it still prepares to try and get that race in. I don't even know if it's going to get in.
I have very low expectations.
I mean, just trying to make a street
happen.
race. Yeah, just trying to make a street race built in that amount of time. That race is supposed to be August 23rd.
Which is really insane for how fast they're trying to push this.
Yeah, especially it's Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know if that's going to end up happening. And some other IndyCar news here from Adam Stern from Sports Business Journal. First, IndyCar could do some possible development around Indianapolis Motor Speedway, which it would definitely be interesting, being that the Speedway is already right off 16th Street in Speedway, Indiana, which is just a little town inside of Indianapolis. It's a enclosed, enclave, town inside of Indianapolis. I don't really know how much room for development there could be.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been to Indianapolis Motor Speedway multiple times. You've been too.
Yeah.
They have a golf course in the track, but maybe they just say screw it, get rid of the golf course and just build a hotel on there.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be an interesting development, or they just add, I don't know, more history, or I don't know.
I don't really know. I mean, unless they take away some of the parking, but that wouldn't really make a whole lot of sense.
No.
Because, it's basically, once you get past, all the parking lots, it's just residential roads. It's
Yeah.
and you're not going to demolish houses to put in some more development. Well, okay.
It could
happen.
But it's very unlikely.
Yeah. Also, IndyCar is looking at new venues in the Northeast United States. It's known that IndyCar used to run at Watkins Glen until 2017, Watkins Glen, the road course up in New York, and then Pocono infamously up until 2019 when IndyCar stopped going due to many safety concerns, like Justin Wilson's unfortunate passing in 2015 and Robert Wickens' that huge crash when he got paralyzed in 2018. Both of those were just brutal.
Yeah.
But switching gears now to the other side of the open wheel spectrum, to Formula One, Aston Martin and Honda, their issues just keep getting worse. I mean, just it's a sad day to be an Aston Martin fan, but like their two drivers, Fernando Alonso and Lance Stroll, they're reporting that they most likely have to start in park in the season opening race in Australia due to them only being comfortable running around 15 to 25 laps because they think that the Honda the power unit, they think the vibrations from that can cause permanent nerve damage in their hands. So pretty bad situation there.
Yeah. I mean, if you can't even run a full race as a Formula One company, like, what are you doing?
If you can't even run,
you need to find a solution and fast.
Yeah, you need to find a solution if you can't even have a power unit that runs the full distance, let alone a power unit that compromises driver safety like that. I mean, permanent nerve damage after 15 to 20
laps.
Yeah,
is insane.
Yeah, for sure. And to add more insult to injury, getting into some Middle East problems, the big issue, multiple outlets are reporting that due to the serious Iran and Middle Eastern tensions, F1, their races 4 and 5 in Bahrain and Saudi Arabia, in mid-April, they're likely to be canceled. And there will be no replacement if they are indeed canceled. A decision is supposed to be made on March 20th, if that ends up occurring. So,
yeah.
But it's sounding like from industry experts that it is not looking good. Yeah. Also, the World Endurance Championship, or WEC, their season opener in Qatar has already been postponed due to the same conflicts. And on the NASCAR side of things, COTA's Cup TV ratings for last week, it had 3.933 million viewers, which is down about 200,000 viewers from last year. But cable TV had a big 64% increase due to these conflicts. So it's not only causing problems logistically for race teams and series and officials, but just on TV, just at home, it's just causing tons of problems.
Yeah.
So not great.
Let's just hope for the best, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, that was a lot. But let's switch gears now to some more exciting news. NHRA, they are back finally. NHRA's 75th anniversary season, it kicks off this weekend, actually going on right now with their first qualifying sessions with the Amali Motor Oil Gatornationals in Gainesville, Florida. Last year in 2025, Antron Brown won in Top Fuel, Chad Green in Funny Car, Dallas Glenn in Pro Stock, and Gage Ferreira in Pro Stock Motorcycle. Hopefully NHRA can get off to not only a fast start, but a dry start. If you remember last year, the In-N-Out Burger NHRA Promoter Finals, it was completely rained out due to monsoons in California. So it was a wet end to last year, and I mean, champions were even crowned before eliminations even happened. There wasn't even really any action to begin with, and of course, as we talked about previously on this podcast, in preseason testing at Gainesville last month, Sean Langdon had two runs that both made history. The unofficial fastest elapsed time at 3.621 seconds, and the unofficial fastest speed at 345.62 miles an hour. So just blazing fast.
Yeah.
He's got some good grip to be able to launch off with them Goodyear tires to fly down the track, kind of like this Goodyear tire that I have right here in the studio. So, yeah, them rear tires are big.
Yeah, they are.
It generates a lot of grip, and they also, the PSI on them, they're run so low so that they almost like wrinkle in a way, and it generates so much grip and downforce. And I mean, they got 12,000 horsepower to work with, so, but anyways, there's a bunch of new storylines as well that's going to play out over the course of this year. Most notably, how will both sides of the whole Proc situation end up? On one hand, you have Austin Proc, along with his father and crew chief Jimmy Proc, who right after the 2025 season, Austin Proc, they won their second consecutive Funny Car World Championship for John Force Racing, and just their discussions did not go as planned. And just a few days later, they're just like, we're leaving. They just straight up and left, and it was announced back in January that they would join Tasca Racing and Ford. starting this year. So new look for them. But for John Force Racing, they now have so many new pieces that they have to shuffle around and figure out for this 2026 NHRA season. Josh Hart, he replaced Brittany Force in Top Fuel after she left last year to start her own family. And when Josh Hart, he had his own Top Fuel team, but he sold that to Elite Motorsports, and Tony Stewart is now in that dragster, and replacing Stewart back in Tony Stewart Racing in that Top Fuel dragster is Leah Pruitt, taking her seat back. Leah Pruitt, of course, Tony Stewart's wife, but she's coming back after starting her own family with Stewart over the past couple years, and lots of ripple effects this year, just in Top Fuel alone this offseason. That's not even mentioning Maddie Gordon coming up from Top Alcohol Funny Car to run a Top Fuel dragster for Ron Capps Motorsports. But back to John Force Racing's drama. You got Alexis DeJoria in a third JFR Funny Car for this year with her Bandero Tequila sponsorship with her. Jack Beckman, he's the only piece that actually stays from last year. Is he's still in the Peak Antifreeze Funny Car, and Jordan Vandegrift, he'll replace Austin Prock in the Cornwell Quality Tools Funny Car, as was announced at the Performance Racing Industry trade show. But he's done work both on the broadcast side for NHRA on Fox, and he also filled in for Sean Reed last year at both Brainerd, Minnesota, and at the U.S. Nationals in Indianapolis last year after his brutal crash back in Seattle. So, but pivoting back to the Prock situation, it's kind of ironic looking back over the last couple years, because back at the 2024 New England Nationals, it was when John Force, he won his 157th and ultimately what would become his final Funny Car race that he won, and he emotionally said that Prock was going to end up replacing him, but 2 weeks later at the Virginia Nationals, John Force, he would suffer what would become his career-ending crash with the traumatic brain injury, and now you look back on it a year and a half later, Prock's not even driving for John Force anymore.
Yeah.
So, we'll see how this all turns out. We'll see if Prock can win a third straight Funny Car World Championship, now just with a different team in Tasca and a different manufacturer in Ford. But one of Ford's favorite spots, especially with Team Penske in the NASCAR Cup Series, is Phoenix Raceway. And ironically, that's where Cup, O'Reilly's, and IndyCar happen to be this weekend. So let's talk about that. Starting with O'Reilly's, can Jesse Love back up his win last fall at Phoenix that won him that O'Reilly Series championship, although he didn't really deserve it because Connor Silich deserved it more. But besides the point, I mean, that's kind of why we moved on from the playoffs and went back to the chase. But I hope so. But there's a lot of good cars out there, especially that JGR 19 car. And Brent Cruz, can he impress in his second O'Reilly Series start in that JGR 19 car? It seems to always impress at Phoenix. Last year, Eric Almirola was in that car. He won at Phoenix in the spring and finished second to Jesse Love at Phoenix in the fall. But and you got a new tire too. I mean, O'Reilly's Auto Parts Series teams, they'll run a new left side tire at Phoenix, and it'll be paired with the same right side tire that was used last year at Phoenix and at Worldwide Technology Raceway, aka Gateway. So we'll see how that goes. We got O'Reilly's practice and qualifying later tonight. But our picks, I did pick Jesse Love. I'm hoping he can continue his momentum from last year that won him an O'Reilly Series championship. Evans picking Sam Mayer. Haley's picking Brandon Jones. Stacy's picking Justin Allgaier. Bernardo's picking Sheldon Creed. And Noah's picking Corey Day, the hot commodity Corey Day. 1 week after continued mayhem, if you will, from Circuit of the Americas, wrecking Connor Zilich. Well, what's your take?
I mean, let's just hope he doesn't cause as many crashes, and let's just hope he can pull it out in a clean way.
That's fair. He does need to be cleaner. I mean, he has talent.
Yeah.
That's clear. And, he did the right thing apologizing, but at the same time, he has to be cleaner.
Yeah.
At least a little bit.
He can't be a freaking wrecking ball every chance he gets.
Pretty much, yeah. Getting into IndyCar. IndyCar is back at Phoenix for the first time since 2018 when Joseph Newgarden won, but that was on the old configuration when the start-finish line was on what is now today the backstretch. IndyCar, 2 practice sessions, one before qualifying that already happened, and one after that I think just wrapped up or is wrapping up that's focused on trying to build rubber up on that high line. The rubber on the high line is definitely very important as you get Phoenix Raceway. It's quirky. It's very flat. So just passing already is difficult even for like NASCAR, and unlike NASCAR where they can use the dog leg to cut across the apron and kind of straighten it out, IndyCar is not going to be able to do that. One, to them it's a course cutting penalty, which I can see it. I mean, and 2, it's a safety issue. IndyCars run so much lower to the ground and they're more fragile, and just hitting the apron, I mean, they could just completely screw up the car and hurt it. So the high line is even more important to try and build up that rubber to get worked on. Otherwise, it could just end up being a boring one-groove race. But I hope not. I don't think it will. But, we'll see. Team Penske. Last year, it was pretty well documented, their struggles. It took them until Will Power at Portland to pull out a win with Will Power, who, of course, is now in Andretti. And we'll talk about him in a minute. But Team Penske, they put all 3 cars in the top 7 in opening practice and all 3 cars in the top 5 in qualifying. David Malukas led that opening practice session, and he won the pole for the race. So good for him. He's brand new at Penske, came over from AJ Fort Racing last year to replace Will Power. And on the other end of it, Will Power did not have a great second week with Andretti. He wrecked at qualifying. We both looked at the footage. He just lost it in turn 1 pretty much.
He had a good warm up lap and a good first lap. That second lap,
it was a really good first lap actually, and then just he must have just carried too much speed into there. But just the car got out from under him, and the fact is Phoenix won. All corners at Phoenix are really flat, but 1 and 2 especially. It just got out from under him, and he just backed it into the wall. I mean, that's Phoenix. Phoenix is relentless. And it doesn't look intimidating at first glance. No pun intended. But it really is. It's just quirky. It's just there's no other real track like it. I mean, there's other short ovals that you can compare to. Tracks like Gateway and like Iowa last year before it got taken off the IndyCar schedule, Milwaukee Mile that IndyCar races at, Cup races at Darlington, which I guess Darlington's way more banked, but it's the most quirky track on the schedule. So, and speaking of the Milwaukee Mile, Christian Rasmussen, who won that race, and his teammate Alexander Rossi for Ed Carpenter Racing, they backed up their speed from the open test. With Rasmussen was 4th fastest in practice, Rossi 6th fastest in practice. I don't think Rossi qualified all that good, but Rasmussen was still up there. So, and they were fast in the open test too. So, we'll see what they can do tomorrow. But also Joseph Newgarden, who we talked about earlier, he's the last IndyCar winner at Phoenix back in 2018. He starts 2nd, and I actually picked him, fun fact. I know, but I picked him not just because he won the last race at Phoenix. If you think about Gateway and Iowa for IndyCar, that's what they're saying it's going to race like. And Newgarden, he's won like a combined like 10 or 11 times at both Gateway and at Iowa, so it wasn't an easy pick, but
statistically showing
yes,
it was one of the better picks.
Not that statistically, not that statistic determines anything, but
anything can happen.
Yes, for sure, especially in the world of motorsports, especially in IndyCar, with all those fragile cars. But Evan is picking Alexander Rossi. Haley, unfortunately, picked Will Power. Not a great couple of weeks for Will Power. He wrecked in practice at St. Pete. He wrecked in the race, and now he wrecked in qualifying here at Phoenix.
He needs to find his groove.
He needs a reset.
Yeah,
pretty much. I mean, after Phoenix this weekend, we'll go to the inaugural Grand Prix of Arlington. We'll race around AT&T Stadium and Globe Life Field, the home of the Dallas Cowboys and Texas Rangers. But I don't know. That could just be even more of a nightmare. Who knows?
Probably.
We've never really seen quite a start like this in IndyCar with 4 IndyCar races in the first 5 weeks. We usually don't have this happen. It's usually like you run St. Pete and it's like a couple weeks off, and then you run another race, which for the last few years it's been like Thermal Club in California, and then you wait a few more weeks, and then you run at Barber, which this year is at the end of March, and then you wait a few more weeks and it's Long Beach. But I'm so glad that IndyCar fixed their schedule to where it's a lot more smooth and consistent, I guess, for lack of a better term. Just 4 races in the first 5 weeks, it definitely builds a lot of momentum for the series, assuming they can put on a good product. Fox, I'm looking at you during when Power crashed in qualifying. What was that camera angle?
Yeah,
it's like you put the NASCAR camera crew on that. I mean, he crashed in turn 1, and you had the camera pointed at turn 2. And then as soon as he crossed into the frame of turn 2, you actually finally cut back to the camera angle you need to cut to, which was the damage. I mean, just, ugh. We both watched the replay of that.
It was bad.
That was pretty bad. Yeah, getting back to picks now. Stacy is picking Scott Dixon. Ganassi has not shown speed, at least not yet anyways. They all qualified outside of the top 10. Or, no, actually, excuse me, Palou qualified 10th. So, yeah, but still, I mean, Alex Palou qualifying 10th might as well be, like, qualifying 20th for him, anyways. Just, Ganassi has work to do, for sure. Bernardo's picking Pato Ward, and Noah's picking Louis Foster, rolling off 16th.
I mean, yeah, he qualified 16th, but I mean, like we said earlier, anything could happen in these IndyCar races, and I'm just hoping that he can use this flat track to his advantage and just
pick them off one at a time.
Yeah.
I'm just hoping it just ends up more than like a one-groove racetrack. I'm just hoping they're able to build that high line in. And they'll have some help, too, because like they'll have O'Reilly's practice and qualifying
before they even race.
So it'll build in even more rubber.
But
but tomorrow it's the IndyCar race, then the O'Reilly's race, not the other way around, which I think is a mistake, but that's just me. So we'll see. Hopefully there's enough rubber to build multiple groups. But getting into the Cup Series now, can Tyler Reddick win 4 in a row? Statistically, no. But like we've said, anything can happen. And, I mean, can he use this momentum to his advantage? And can he pull out another win at Phoenix? I mean, he's already set history for going 3 in a row, 3 for 3 to wins for start the year. But 4 races in a row, in general, in any part of the season, hasn't happened in the Cup Series since Jimmy Johnson did back in his second, at the time, his second consecutive championship winning season in 2007. Plus, if Reddick was able to win at Phoenix, he would join Christopher Bell last year, plus David Pearson and Mark Martin as the 4th modern era driver, which is since 1972, to win consecutive races at 3 different track types, which in this case would be a super speedway at Atlanta, a road course at Coda, and an oval at Phoenix, which is ironically what Bell did last year: Atlanta, Coda, Phoenix. So, yeah. So, and he'd also technically be able to say he gave Michael Jordan his first 4P in his career. Yeah. Cup teams, they'll use the same tire setup that they used in last November's finale race. The right side tire was previously raced at the Clash at Bowman Gray back in February. the left side will be making its debut for this year anyways. And also, in addition to Phoenix in 2025, this tire setup, it was used at Bowman Gray for the Clash, Martinsville in the spring, Wilkesboro for the All-Star race, and then Richmond and New Hampshire last year as well. But, yeah, getting into picks, Christopher Bell is my pick. He's won the last 2 spring Phoenix races. And, I mean, at some point, Reddick's not going to win. So,
I mean, maybe.
He could win, but at some point, somebody else is going to win. And Toyota and Penske have been really strong here at Phoenix lately. And, of course, Bell, he's won the last 2 spring Phoenix races. And you look at Reddick in the 2 Phoenix races, the spring and the fall race last year, he finished 20th and 26th. So, not great. Evans picking Denny Hamlin, who finished, he finished right there with Bell last year in that really close finish.
Yeah.
It looked like it was going to be right down to the wire, and then Bell was able to get his nose ahead. Haley's picking Chase Briscoe. Hopefully he can get out of the bottom, rut in the points that he's sunken into, back in 30th in points. Stacy's picking Ryan Blaney. Bernardo's picking William Byron, and Noah's picking Chase Elliott.
Yeah, I mean, Chase Elliott hasn't done amazing in the past couple of races, but
there's been a lot of other drivers that have had plenty of mistakes. I mean, sure, you got Tyler Reddick, who's won all 3 races, and Bubba Wallace, his teammate, sitting right there second in points, but you want to know who's third in points? Chase Elliott.
That is true, but, I mean, what I'm saying is I'm just hoping he can put forth
put a whole race together.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at I'm pretty sure it was Atlanta. He overshot his pit box.
Yeah.
And he was still able to battle back towards the end of the race. Just can he put a whole package together to win a race, which you kind of need to put a whole package together to win a race for the most part. But just the lack of execution on the 9 crew is what's bit them over the last few years, and so they need to improve that.
Yeah.
For sure. But yeah, so a lot of action this weekend at Phoenix Raceway, and also at Gainesville Raceway for NHRA as well. Monday, we'll recap all that. It's going to be a lot of fun recapping all that. Hopefully Phoenix for all 3 series, Cup and O'Reilly's and IndyCar, hopefully they're great races and not one groove snooze fest. And hopefully NHRA can set some new records like we saw in preseason testing. Get a great start to their 75th anniversary campaign. So we'll see. But that's all we got for today's episode of the Throttle to the Floor podcast. Make sure you tune in and listen and download on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. Check out the Chill Photography and Throttle to the Floor podcast, Instagrams and TikToks. And thank you to Noah, who's about to go to work after this is done. But that's all we got for today's episode of the Throttle to the Floor podcast. And we'll see y'all recapping episode on Monday.
See you.